Okay, good morning everyone. So yesterday it will have submitted made a list of topics along with their group members name. So from Monday, your presentation will start. You have 3 days to work on these topics, go through them properly, and try to cover as much as you can. So in the last class, we have discussed the first model of software development lifecycle, that is waterfall model. It is the basic model of software development lifecycle with 6 phases, starting from requirement analysis to system design, then implementation, then testing, implementation or coding, then testing, then deployment or integration and implementation, then maintenance. And in each phases, there are some specific execution is done. So we have already discussed what is requirement analysis, what is actually happened in requirement analysis, then system design, then implementation or coding, then testing, then deployment or integration and implementation, then maintenance. So we have already discussed the phases earlier. Then the next point what we have discussed, that we must know that what kind of software or to develop what kind of software, which model is best suitable. That means for every model there is some application in the sense that in which type of development I should use this waterfall model. That is when the requirement is constant as well as the tools and technology are constant, then we go for a waterfall model, because we know that in waterfall model, once we complete a phase, then only we can go for the next phase. Okay. For a small project or a small development, basically we use uh, waterfall model, because it is simple. When the resources are easily accessible, that means if we go for a easy software development, then only the resources are easily accessible. This kind of situation or in this category, we simply follow the waterfall model. The next point is applications of waterfall model. Sorry, that means application means in which situation we can apply the waterfall model, which we have already discussed. That means when to use as the waterfall model, or what is the applications of waterfall model. The next point is advantages of waterfall model. As I told you that we have 9 software SDLC models And for each and every models, there are some specific advantages and disadvantages, because the models are not same, or they have not designed for the same purpose. The final goal is same, to make sure that the product which is developed is the most efficient one. But to achieve this goal, their approaches are something different. When you go through each and every model, you will find that their approaches are different. Their approaches towards the feasibility study is different. Their approaches towards the coding is different. Their approaches towards the integration is different. Okay, so that means for every model, there are some specific advantages and disadvantages. First of all, right, advantages of waterfall model. The advantages of waterfall model, right? The advantages of waterfall model. The advantages of waterfall model are that are that it allows for departmentalization. That it allows for departmentalization and control. Next paragraph. Some of the major advantages of waterfall models are: number one, simple and easy to understand and use. simple and easy to understand and use. Next point, for smaller projects, waterfall model works well and yield inappropriate results. Or you can say this and produce the appropriate results. And produce the appropriate results. Next point, since the phases are rigid, that means fixed. Since the phases are rigid and precise, since the phases are rigid and precise, comma, one phase is done at a time. That's why it is easy to maintain. Next point, the entry and exit criteria are well defined. In waterfall model, we can say that in waterfall model, the entry and exit criteria are well defined. Comma, well defined, comma. So it is easy and systematic to easy and systematic to proceed with quality. Next point, results are well documented. Results are well documented. Next, disadvantages of waterfall model. That in disadvantage, right? That this yeah the disadvantage of waterfall model. The disadvantage of waterfall model is that it does not allow much reflection. Does not allow much reflection or revision. That is that is that is once an application is in the testing stage, it is very difficult to go back. go back and change something that was not well documented or well defined in the previous stage or in the previous phases. Next paragraph. Some major disadvantages of waterfall models are some major disadvantages of waterfall model are number one, cannot adopt the changes in requirements. Cannot adopt the changes in requirements. Next point, it becomes very difficult to move back. It becomes very difficult to move back to a previous phase to a previous phase from the current phase. In this model, next point, in this model, the risk factor is high. So this model is not suitable for for more significant and complex projects. Next, delivery of the final product is late. Delivery of the final product is late as there is no prototype which can be demonstrated immediately. Next point, since the testing is done at the later stage, it does not allow identifying the challenges. It does not allow identifying the challenges and risks in the earlier phase. Identifying the challenges and risks in the earlier phase. So, the risk reduction strategy is difficult to prepare. Is it clear to everyone? But still the attendance is very low. I don't know why the students are not attending the classes. But yesterday, 4 or 5 students have attended the class. Today, only eight. Eight, no, only seven. Who is your mentor? Okay, I will talk to her. Okay, if you don't have any query, I will end up this class for today. We will continue in the next week with your presentation. Let's see what you are going to present. And it's my advice to all of you: use diagrams. Okay, suppose to explain the phases in different models, use diagrams. Use arrow marks from which stage you move to the next stage. If there is any reverse mechanism is available, how you can go back to the previous phase. So at least one diagram is necessary for uh, the phases, and you convey the message to all of you. Since only 50% students are present today, so you Jitul or someone simply convey the message that the diagram is necessary for the phases. Okay. Okay then. Thank you everyone. We'll meet in the next week with your presentation. Okay. And for presentation, at least 5 to 10 slides, minimum 5 and up to 10. Thank you everyone.